Sorry.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. Seal, I got to get back to asking you how you're doing because you gave me a hard time last week. So how you doing, buddy?
It was just weird, bro. It was really odd. It's one of those things, it comes. You got taxes, and you got to ask me how I'm doing. That's just
I
something
know
that comes
I
every
was just
week.
too excited about losing the owner, but we did
Yeah,
want to
dude.
start off real quick.
I'm
We're
good.
in.
I'm good, by the way.
Yeah, well, you took too long, so I just went on. We normally record on Wednesday night, but Seal was busy partying as Floridians do during hurricanes, and so I'm not
Yes.
even going to ask you how that is because my brother was more in the way than you were, and he's totally
Yeah.
fine. So,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
we're
there are
recording
areas
on.
that got absolutely
Yeah,
fucked, in like mid Florida, like in
did
inner
you see the
Florida.
visions images of UCF campus?
No,
It
I
was
did
flooded.
not.
Yeah, there was
I
some flooding
saw
on UCF campus.
around like the Sanford area, uh, like kind of, I guess, more south or more north, maybe. I'm not too sure, but completely flooded everywhere. Like just everywhere is insane. The lakes are all over and flooded, and now everybody's
Yeah.
first floors are insane. It's crazy.
My brother said it's been raining since 5 a.m. on Wednesday morning. It hasn't stopped as of about an hour ago when I talked to him. So it's
That
still
is
just
insane,
going
man.
through. But the point of that was to say that we're now recording on Thursday night, and obviously Thursday night football is happening. And so we just want to start off the show saying with prayers up to Tua because we literally just waited 25 minutes to start the show because we saw Tua go down. So we have no knowledge other than we just saw him go down and get stretchered off. But prayers up to him, and that looked bad. So hopefully it's not as bad as it looks.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, and it's weird how nowadays we seem to highlight the bad shit more. Like back in the day, they probably wouldn't have shown the replay, but for these guys to go and take an emphasis on his fingers locking up and the way they did, like that was it's that's. I mean, we took 25 minutes because after seeing that, you kind of need a minute, man. That's just something
Yeah,
freak to see live, and for them to go through and emphasize the fact that his fingers were locked up and his muscles were spazzing out the way they were to drive in the fact that the dude just literally got fucked on national television. And
yeah,
we all know what happened last week. It's crazy, man. But yeah, like you said, thoughts and prayers to Tua and his whole family. You got to think as parents, you're always protective of your kids. And after last week, you can't think they were too happy of the decisions made the coaches to allow him to go back in, for him to allow himself to go back in. And then after this, man, it's for him and his whole family. It's going to be a rough ride. It looks like, and I'm really hoping we didn't just see another Ryan Chase here. Honestly, that
yeah.
was bad. That was really bad. And they had everything. Like usually they'll leave an arm out for him to do a thumbs up. They had everything
And they
strapped
have.
up in the stretcher.
Yeah.
So all that's scary, man. That's really scary. So yeah, thoughts and prayers to him. We'll literally learn with you guys for the first time. Uh, in like a
Well,
year of the podcast. We'll all yeah, I guess we always do learn with everybody else, but now this is something that
that's true. Yeah,
we
we don't learn
legit won't be
beforehand.
sitting on. I'm such an idiot.
but but yeah, so big prayers up to him. But we're not gonna talk about this week in football because normally we record on Wednesdays and we want to kind of keep the structure pretty much the same. We just wanted to start off with that.
Yeah.
But what we were gonna originally start off with, one of Seal's friends, Aaron Judge, finally took him seven
Gives a
games
fuck.
because you guys shut him down, but he finally hit 61, and I don't know if they played tonight or not, but he's eventually going to get 62 if people stop giving him 4 walks a game. We have to shout him out, Seal. I don't care what you think about him. He's going to be a Dodger next year, so I got to start to shout him out now. Um, but I mean
I don't know.
that's
He
huge
he
to get
hasn't taken the
61.
Red Sox off the list.
Yeah, are the
Who
Red
gives
Sox
a
going to
fuck?
give him
He's fucking.
$350 million?
Yeah, we can.
Are you going to? You can because you don't
Probably.
give anyone money.
Yeah. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe we're going to turn back into the early 2000s Red Sox and start paying these motherfuckers to get more chips.
Maybe
But
that's what you were saving for was for Judge.
That'd be great, honestly. Like, but dude, the dude's fucking 9 feet tall, 400 pounds. He should have been doing this. He was almost a bust,
Yeah.
except he finally started hitting right and actually hitting right in the MLB, getting the ball in fucking play more
Yeah.
than he was. It
I
was
mean, he still
outs or home
strikes out a
runs.
shit ton though.
Yeah, he gets the ball in play more. He's been able to become a fucking gun cannon in the
Yeah,
outfield,
dude.
and that's literally the only reason that he's still relevant. And the fact that he's with the Yankees, if he was with the Blue Jays, he would have been sold to the fucking Orioles by now
Right.
and been in there back in the Triple A's or some shit. But the dude's 9 foot tall. Like you, this is something that you expected, and as a Yankees fan, you're excited but bummed at the fact that you've been sitting on this dude, and now you're probably going to lose him when he's finally doing what he should have been doing this whole fucking time.
Yeah, it's crazy because Judge is when he came into the scene, I was like, oh, he's just this almost publicity stunt. He's this huge guy. He's got the Michael Strahan gap. He's going to be marketable, just the face of the franchise. But then, yeah, he struck out all the time. It's crazy that he is so good though when he touches the ball because he still strikes out pretty much the same amount. He hasn't really dropped his strikeouts yet. He's going to try to go for the Triple Crown and win the batting title if your guy can't get his shit together. So like it's crazy that if the ball touches his bat, it's pretty much a either a home run or a double or something big. But
Yeah, he's definitely fun to watch. I will be excited to see him in the Red Sox jerseys next year. Absolutely.
you guys can have Bellinger after we kick him to the curb for a Judge.
Fuck him. He's gonna stay. He's gonna go to like San Francisco or something. He's too used to being in commercials nowadays. He's not leaving the West Coast.
Bellinger's gonna go wherever lets him bat 150 and still be on the fucking field. I don't know why we let him do it, but it's ridiculous how bad he is at hitting. It's really sad. But I am wearing my Dodgers stuff, not because of Aaron Judge, obviously, but because we, once again, for the second time in like 3 years or third time in 4 years or something, broke our franchise record for wins. We're at 107 now, and there's still a few more games to go. So we're going to rack up a couple more wins, and that's exciting to just see how good we're doing now. Sadly, there's only one ring to our name. Again, that's because of some cheaters, because of what's the guy's name? Scherzer, that dominated us in a stupid best of 3 series, which should never happen, and that's a story for another day. But the fact that we have this squad that is for years to come. I mean, the Judge thing is tongue in cheek, but we're definitely going to make him an offer, and that's without a doubt. So to see that it's not going to end anytime soon, being really good, because it was 30 years, so it was a long time, and all my teams being good, man. This is just so. I've said this now, what, for like 4 years now. Now that all my teams are good, but it's still surprising. I still like. The majority of my life, 90% of my life, my teams were shit. So it's still really fun to just have a good team. So another franchise record. Good job, Dodgers. And hopefully we keep it rolling into the World Series.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the Red Sox were officially eliminated the other day. So, O2 is getting taken to the hospital right now, it looks like.
Good.
But, yeah. But that sucks. But, yeah, the Red Sox have been the only team that has ever given me happiness for the most part when it comes to sports, besides 2016. 2017 with the Jags. Looks like that's going to fucking repeat. Let's go. But yeah, we just got eliminated from playoff contention. And it's crazy to think about back in May, late May, we were talking about, you were pissed. The Dodgers were ass. They were sucking. Yeah. And the Red Sox looked like they were going to go on another fucking fairy tale run. And here we are. It's just night and day from a couple months ago. And yeah, man, you got to be really excited looking into it. We already talked about the pitching woes you guys had. It seems like the bullpen understood what the fuck they needed to do to kind of pick up the slack. And it's kind of been lights out with this new rotation they got going.
And Dave Roberts wised up. He pulled Kimbrel like that. Kimbrel blew one save, and Roberts said, "We're looking into other options." He went out the next game in a non-save situation and let in one run. And the very next day, they were like, Kimbrel's no longer a closer. We'll figure something else out. Like if that was Jansen, he would have just been like, "We're riding with Jansen. We're riding with Jansen." So he's learning, which is good. I love that he's a player's coach, but at some point you have to actually start playing for winning. And so hopefully he's doing that. But yeah, to pull Kimbrel, we're getting Grouderall in there back from injury. And I've been calling for him to be the closer now 4 years, I think, ever since Jansen started sucking. So he's always been the setup man, never the closer, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, right? But I think he's finally going to get his chance, and he's the man. So I'm excited about it.
So he finally caught the bouquet.
Yeah, the bouquet.
He's finally the next one up. I was thinking of the fucking
garter.
Yeah, I was thinking of the garter, but that's for the guys to throw, right?
Right. Which he is a guy, obviously, but the analogy was for brides, right? So we buried the lead of where I was, which we already know, where I was this past weekend, and why Steele's wearing his jersey. I got to watch a really good team play against a really hurt quarterback, and there was a lot. I said a really good team. I was talking about your team.
No,
and
you got to give the Chargers props.
They didn't do anything. What sort of props should they have gotten?
They're a great team, though.
They are a great team, and when they have a hurt quarterback, and whenever they say, "Oh, 4th and 1," that means we stop, right? We just stop playing. Oh wait, why does James Robinson have the ball? Are we supposed to stop? It was 4th down. What are they doing? And then he's in the touchdown. He scored that right under us, though, so that was exciting.
That is dope, and that was literally a heavy overload blitz.
Yeah,
like ran straight into the blitz and didn't get fucking touched.
Yeah.
The shit we're doing this year as a Jags fan is exciting to see. And for like you're used to this kind of well-oiled machine. You're used to fucking playoff Lenny. You got to remember that motherfucker was on my team for a couple years.
Yeah.
And we were never able to get this kind of push, this kind of penetration at the line to open up these lanes. And like you're just used to seeing it out of Leonard. Like we're used to seeing him do those 4th and 1 runs every once in a while. But that shit's happening. I think our running backs are averaging like 6-7 yards a carry already after 3 games this season. It's insane. It doesn't matter who's back there. I mean, yeah, James Robinson, we saw it last year. This kid is special. We all know what Travis has been able to do in college. We're seeing it now in the pros. He's special in his own way as well. But if our line's able to fucking push people around like they have been in the run game, it's going to be really beautiful to see. And it's crazy because both guys on the left side are guys that we've had for a while now. I forget our guard's name, but he replaced Andrew Norwell last year, and we didn't get shit. So whatever the coach is able to do, scheming with these linemen, whatever the fuck's going on, I'm excited, man. Doug Peterson really has these guys playing NFL ball, and a lot of Jags fans already knew that we had talent. Right, we got rid of some of the special team guys for other teams, but for some reason they're starting on our squad. We already get through some of those guys, and a lot of guys that we drafted last year are able to step up and come in, and having the number 1 pick again for defense this year didn't hurt, and that dude's a fucking beast. Yeah, we're excited. The only scary thing is, man, if we do beat the Eagles this weekend, we have a pretty easy road.
Right.
And that's going to end up being some 2017 shit, bro. We were running out 6-7 games before we lose again. And the thing that kept Jaguars fans quiet in 2017 was 10 years of failure, 1 year of goodness, and then about 6-7 more years of failure before we and other than that, it was the early bird gets the worm luck with being the new team, getting the pick of the litter, and having Mark Brunell come out of nowhere and everybody pissed off they didn't fucking keep him. A lot of shit. Tony Vaselli, our first draft Hall of Famer. We knew none of that. So in 2017, we kept our mouth fucking shut. The fact that 2017 happened and it's setting up to kind of look that way. If we're 3-1 after beating the number 1 team in the NFC right now, statistics wise, standings wise, yeah, it's going to get fucking loud in Duval County.
Well, the best part, obviously the best part is winning, and you guys won big, and it wasn't like a hurt quarterback doesn't make 30 points. I mean, maybe, but the defense was bad. Joey Bosa did get hurt. Their safety got hurt, but but they couldn't stop you guys for anything. But the good part about this is on the same week, obviously I didn't get to watch, so I'm going to rely on you for a lot of this input, but the rest of the AFC stumbled, man. The rest of the AFC didn't look as good. The Bills, um, between the end zones, looked really, stat-wise, looked really good against the Dolphins, but ended up losing. And then the Chiefs, I don't know what happened. I truly have not looked at a stat from that game or anything. I just saw the scoreboard pop up when I was at the Chargers game. So what happened to these two big favorites that both drop in the same weekend that you guys do work?
Well, Chiefs wise, we all know that Colts defense is nasty. It's a legit. Yeah, they still have some injuries, but a team that's 0-1-1 missed out on the playoffs last year, was looked at as a favorite in the AFC this year. Again, start of the season, the AFC is deep as fuck. There's 5 teams at minimum that can go to the Super Bowl in everybody's eyes. So when you look at that, you kind of think, all right, we got a big old chip on our shoulder, and it showed. That defense was flying around. They stayed on their toes, and they didn't let all that nice shit, that trickery, fancy ballet-esque bullshit that the Chiefs like to run. They weren't letting that happen. And honestly, with the Chiefs, it seems like Tyreek being gone is a huge hole that they're not able to fill. Eric Bahimi wise, or whatever we say his name.
Enemy or whatever.
Enemy, yeah. He is not looking like the genius that he has, and it's looking rough offensively. Going into halftime, Pat Mahomes was pissed off that they ran the ball instead of trying to do something with it, and it just seems like they're not able to figure it out. I mean, Travis Kelce, if you talk to any fantasy football manager with him, he's not doing what Travis Kelce does, and that's simply because they don't have the space. We've heard all off season about how they were able to go down and in 22 seconds or whatever it was to get that field goal to
Right.
beat Josh Allen and the Bills in that crazy fucking game. But that space isn't there anymore. They don't have to worry about anybody going deep. We've all heard of Nicole Hardman and what he was, McCole, whatever his name is, what he was going to do, and all these other no-name guys that were going to come up and fill Tyreek's roles. It's just not able to happen, even, and especially now that there's tape on this new offense. That's got to be a scary thing for the Chiefs. And honestly, I can see a lot more of it happening. Yeah, they're going to be able to figure out a little bit. Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce are still them, and we know in this game of the NFL, if you give any great team an inch, they're going to take it. So there are going to be games where they look great and get those going, but against a sound defense like the Colts, this is going to happen a lot to the Chiefs this year, and if they do make it to the playoffs, they're not going to make it long. If they go up against one of these AFC South guys like the Colts or the Jaguars, for that matter, fuck the Colts. When they go up against the Jags in the playoffs, we're going to beat the fuck out of them. But and then on the other hand, when you look at the Bills against the Dolphins just seem to be able to click. Like it's weird, dude. It doesn't matter who they play. Like Teddy Two Gloves just went down and had a nice little drive and they scored a touchdown. Kicker can't make shit, but that's another story. Kickers in the NFL are having a hard year.
Yeah, they are.
But yeah, this Bills team, it just looks like they got tired. Like that's really all you can say. And yeah, they went down last year and beat the shit out of Miami. And it was the same heat, blase. But when you're the best team in the AFC and everybody thinks you're Super Bowl contenders, yeah, you have that dog mentality. Yeah, you're going to go to work, you're going to grind. But are you really going to give 150% when you already are on top, when you're already the bee's knees? Probably not every day, especially when you're going down to Miami. You're probably taking a little break, getting the sights in, seeing shit. And yeah, they look confused and they went up against a team that was hungry and wants to beat everybody and wanted to go 3-0. And the Bills just didn't seem to want it as bad. We saw you probably just saw the replays of it, but that fucking last play by Josh Allen was insane. You hear everybody in the bar screaming at the refs, all the Dolphins fans laughing at Josh Allen. That's just shit that you can't have happen. And that's stuff that team doesn't do. Sean McDermott's a really smart coach. What's his name? Bean, the offensive coordinator that gets talked about a lot.
Right.
It's like that shouldn't happen, and that's just mistakes that literally cost you the game,
Yeah.
and that's what happened. And literally, if that game and that has even 5 more minutes,
Right.
the Bills probably win that game 10 out of 10 times. Like, yeah, obviously, if you give them another 30 seconds, obviously they're probably going to win that. But even if you let the Dolphins try to come back and get it, the Bills just figure shit out, and they seem to be moving along at a good pace at that point in the game. But unfortunately, there's only 60 minutes, not 61.
Right. And I mean, right before halftime too, when he like fumbled the snap or whatever, when he was trying to spike it. So that's 2 times
Yeah.
that they kind of screwed themselves and out of a pretty much a free win. And like you said, if they played that same game, even the same game, not the 61-minute game, but that same game, they'd win the other 9 times out of 10. So the Dolphins
Yeah.
got that one. But that's all it takes is one any given Sunday, right? That's why they say that. That's why the movie exists. It just takes one play. So it's pretty crazy. So with those two falling, and it can obviously the answer can still be these two guys, and we're only 3 weeks into the season. You're only 2-1. But if it were you guys to make this magical run with your week schedule and you make it to the AFC Championship, who would you be most worried to face? Is it still one of those two teams? Is it potential MVP Lamar Jackson over here tearing it up? Who are you the most scared of?
No, I'm probably still worried about the Bills for the most
Hmm.
part. Honestly, they were able to get Devin Singletary going in different ways, and that's their knock, right? Like they can't run the
Right.
ball. Their running backs average like 2 yards a carry. Moss seemed to be kind of getting together, but teams have figured him out. Um, the Bengals don't look scary right now, all right? Like their defense just isn't the same. Teams are able to score on them at will, and we saw it in the playoffs. They have to be able to score 35 points to get a
Right.
win. It's just not happening. They got 2 touchdowns at halftime right now. In the playoffs, they were up to about 3 or 4 on average. So yeah, it's got to be them. And honestly, I hate to say it, that Browns team looks good.
Mm.
They look good. And once they have Deshaun Watson's little rub and tug bitch ass back for the end of the season, that's going to be a scary team in the playoffs. So uh, yeah, probably the Bills or the Browns. The Ravens, one trick pony.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a good trick. It's a great fucking pony. That man's going to get paid.
Yeah, he
But
is.
at the end of the day, once we start getting tape on these Batemans and these Duverdays and these guys, we don't have tape on of them doing these route stems and all this shit that they're doing. It's going to get a little bit more controlled. But yeah, you're never going to be able to control Lamar. That's
Right.
just a cheat code. And the fact that this motherfucker has like what is it 10 15 more he gained 40 pounds and
Yeah.
just straight 10 15 pounds of muscle. That's insane. Like the dude looks like a fucking like one of those compact U-Hauls, just a little
Yeah.
small little 10
Yep.
foot box truck, just a fucking box truck, bro. And yeah, you're not gonna be able to stop him. That defense is okay. They're very opportunistic, but just looking at the way the Jaguars play and the way the Browns have been doing it with Jacoby, if you don't give that line a chance to get to you, then you have a chance to be able to beat them. And on offense, keep the safeties back, keep the fucking the outside secure, and make it all run through the middle. And 9 times out of 10, I feel like you're gonna be able to beat that Ravens defense. It's all on Lamar running the ball and them getting them crazy ass fucking corner routes, and with him extending plays and shit. So yeah. So what we're damn, we can't even say that anymore. We're a fifth of the way through the year.
I know,
No,
right?
we're like a seventh of the way. Seems like sixth of the way nowadays. But yeah, the Browns. I think the Browns and the Bills are still the two my favorites, other than the Jaguars, obviously. But yeah,
Well,
I
after
think the
three
Chiefs are
weeks,
dead.
nice. Yeah, I think so too. And I think they're going to be, well, I'm a little nervous about this weekend just for the sheer fact that we had to go practice in Miami, that we have to do all this shit. But we're going to get Mike Evans back. You alluded to it, so I don't have to double up. But our defense is going to be just like you guys, just like the Colts, just like those. And we're gonna be able to shut them down as long as we've had the ability to game plan. So I'm not too worried. But after the first 3 weeks, I'm not worried about any of the NFC teams. We were a 2-point conversion away from beating the Packers with literally no receivers. I love Rashad Perriman, go UCF, obviously, but if he's your number one receiver, you're gonna have a tough day. And we
Hey,
still found a way. What?
shout out Cole Beasley.
Oh yeah, for sure. Cole came up. We had to call him up. We signed him and called him up in 72 hours, and he was ready to play. And like I said, but if you have Cole Beasley, Russell Gage, Rashard Perriman, you're not going to really stand a chance. And for us to just lose by a 2-point conversion that, for what it's worth, Tampa Tom can't be getting delay of games on 2-point conversions. But
Yeah.
for us to come down to that with no receivers, I'm not worried about anyone in the NFC. Not that I was worried about the Packers anyway, but the Packers are the Packers, and they're Aaron Rodgers. So when we don't have anybody, they should be able to dominate us. But we can ride this defense to the playoffs with no problem. And then when you get Tom Brady in the playoffs, he's a different beast. So I'm not really worried about the NFC. I'm very worried about anyone that comes out of the AFC. All 7 teams that are going to be in the playoffs will be pretty scary to face. So. But the
So
NFC, I'm not worried.
I mean, the Eagles, they give up some points, but they've been scoring a lot of fucking points as well. You're not worried about them being able to just score nonchalantly against you guys up and down the field.
No, I'm
But
not. Our defense is way too good. Like
yeah,
they're not going
because
to be
the
able to do that.
The Rams defense is being put on blast this season
Yeah,
so far.
yeah.
Like their defense just isn't the same as last year. I don't know what the fuck they lost. I do know that white boy. Oh no, that's the Chargers. Never mind. That Tranquil dude.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
he's all over the place. Never seen the dude. Never heard of him. Not a good sign. But but I don't know what happened to the fucking Rams, the other team in LA. But yeah, they don't seem that scary. Green Bay, no receivers, like you said. Yeah, they beat you, but yeah, it's that's a fucking fluke game.
Yeah.
I can even agree with that, and I love Aaron Rodgers way more than I'll ever love Tom Brady. He's the real fucking goat. He just didn't have fucking Bill Belichick. He had a fat Mike McCarthy.
Hey,
All
I
right,
said Drew Brees my entire life, so
True.
I get it.
Cowboys,
No. I mean,
not scared of
Cooper
them.
Rush is playing amazing. If they can
And
fit Dak into that.
that defense is nice. That front core, run fucking stoppers,
Well, yeah, for sure.
and that secondary is still able to eat. It seems like so.
Zeke looked a
That
little bit better this past week, like he's trying to
you
get it
can
back.
hear. You
Yeah.
know he's starting to hear. It's 2 years now. Tony Pollard's outright beating the fuck out of him when it comes to the stats, and the fans are getting loud. And he's coming up. He's literally about to earn a vet minimum every
Yeah.
single year of his life, and he's trying to avoid that. He's trying to get to at least that $6-7 million mark, and yeah, he's trying to prove it. He had a really good game. It sucks how fast time moves, man. When you think about Zeke, how great he was, he's been in the league like fucking 6 years now, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like it's insane to think of. But yeah, the Cowboys could be a team, but honestly, it would have to be one of those any given Sunday type wins for them to where shit just falls in the right spots for them. But like we saw last year with the Bengals, it can happen every fucking Sunday sometimes. But that's about it, right? The Giants are a fucking joke. The Bears aren't shit, and every other team is just offensively fucking plagued, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Saints, Lions, same old Lions. 49ers, they're fucked. Cardinals, we all know they're the Cardinals. They are who we thought they were, and nobody's gonna let them off the fucking hook. Damn, that was the Cardinals coach back then too.
That
Wasn't
was, yeah.
Hey, look at that. That's
The
awesome.
Cardinals are trash. But for what it's worth, will the Cardinals be a little better when Hopkins comes back? Now that you see that the 49ers and the Rams are not as good as people expected them to be, could the Cardinals slide under the radar, win with like a 10-7, and then make a push in the playoffs with Hopkins?
They absolutely could, but that defense just isn't there. Honestly, are they? Oh, they're almost the most scored on team besides the Lions in the NFC.
Oh, how about the Lions though? Their offense is nuts.
Yeah,
that's been
offense
exciting.
Is nice. It has been exciting to watch, and you got to think like once that team starts putting pieces to the puzzle, right? This is year 2 now. This is when you see as an organization, is this coach going to be our coach for a while, and what pieces do we need to get to build now? They brought some guys in for them this year, but you all know even in that organization, they know they're not winning a Super Bowl this year. They're not winning a division this year. It's just not happening. This is year to see what pieces you need, and honestly, Goff can stay. Like,
Yeah,
they don't
he's
need to
not
get too
bad.
many
Yeah.
more pieces on offense. That defense just needs to get shapened up. They got a lot of youth on that side of the ball. Once they get a couple more pieces, that Lions team is going to be hell in the NFC. Like, that's insane to think about. But yeah, man. Fucking MCDC. What's his name? Matt Carpenter, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The coach.
I
What's
don't
his
know who
name?
the Lions coach is.
Oh man,
It
he's
used to be
awesome.
Patricia, but he's not there anymore, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, it's the fucking dude who wants his team to eat people's knees off and shit. But not literally, but yeah, no, that team's gonna be really good. But yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, you guys have like 3 or 4 teams that you need to worry about, and yeah, I don't see the Eagles being able to sustain it. It'd be awesome if they did. That's a really young team, so to be able to see that
Yeah.
would be awesome just for the league and for everybody because there's not really anybody on that team that you hate to watch, right? I mean, some people don't like seeing Darius Slay do what he does. Lions fans definitely don't, but
Right.
but I mean, there's not really anybody on that team that you don't hate, and they're fun to fucking watch, man.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, no, I'm just not too worried. But what if we can get what's the Buccaneers Jaguars Super Bowl odds, man? It's probably still pretty low. We still got or high odds, whichever one is the one where you make more money, low or high.
Can
But
you do the prop bet of who's in the Super Bowl against each other?
no. Well, you can in Vegas, yeah.
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 Take a little trip.
Well, you'd just parlay the two. So you'd parlay the AFC Championship Jags against the NFC Championship Bucks, and you'd get mad
Yeah.
odds because you'd get their two good odds already parlayed together.
You don't even have to go to Vegas. Just take that hour and a half, 2 hour trip to the fucking border and get on the app, dog.
Dude, Vegas is like 45 minutes from the border. So most of the trip is in California. So
might as well go to Vegas.
yeah, you might as well just go all the way into Vegas.
So just go over the hills and bam, you're there.
But I think Arizona has legal betting now, and that's a little closer. So I could just go in Arizona and get the app. But anyways, actually, by the time the Super Bowl is here, we'll probably have legal betting, but then the odds will be a lot worse. So before we get to college football, let's talk a little bit of breaking news, just because why not? We're recording while it's happening. The Wembanyama sweepstakes, if you guys don't know who that is, that's going to be the #1 draft pick in the NBA next year. The Wembanyama sweepstakes just got a little bit more interesting with an 8-player trade between the Rockets and the Thunder. Why are these people that don't care trading people? But the big name, I mean, this isn't 10 years ago, but Derek Favors goes to the Rockets, and they also get a draft pick. But they also get Ty Jerome, who I like, Theo Maledon. It was just a salary thing kind of deal because now the Thunder are $10 million under the luxury tax. So they're saving up to get Wembanyama and then a free agent next year if they can lose. The Rockets.
Did they get KPJ?
No.
Stay on the Rockets?
Yeah, Derek Favors was the only one that, I mean, I guess they traded. So the Thunder, okay, so the Rockets get Derek Favors, Ty Jerome, and Theo Maledon and Mo Harkless. Geez, this is from like the early 2000s. And the Rockets get David Nwaba, Sterling Brown, Trey Burke, and Marquise Chris. So a bunch of losers that are not going to be in the NBA all that much longer.
Trey Burke. Why do I know Trey Burke? Oh, yeah.
Michigan.
Yes.
That's all I know him from. I don't know who he played for in the NBA, but that's Final Four run or whatever with Michigan.
I don't know.
Alec Burks
or
whatever is on the Jags. No, remember, I think
that's
Florida,
crazy.
Didn't Florida play Michigan back then when Trey Burke was on it? I feel like they did. But yeah, so it's just fun to see 8-player trades. So I saw that headline. I was like, that's stupid. But yeah, it's a lot of people that are just because they're gonna get Derek Favors and then cut him immediately so that both teams are under the luxury tax. I don't know why Derek Favors is still making money. A lot of money. I mean, not like vet minimum. I'm down with that, but a lot of money. That's crazy.
The Jazz are stupid. They probably paid his ass a lot of money.
That's true.
And then already, we can't pay you, bro. We still paying this motherfucker, and he ain't even on our team.
So let's move on to college football. We got a lot of ranked matchups. It's really starting to come together.
I
The
thought college football got canceled.
Why would college football get canceled?
With the
College
Gators
football
suck
got
again.
moved to Sunday, dog. They didn't get canceled. They got moved to Sunday. It's still happening.
Oh no,
But
we suck again.
oh yeah, we stuck again. But no. So our we won't be talked about because we're not in the ranks anymore, and so I don't care. UCF and UF have both screwed the pooch, so whatever. But there are a lot of ranked matchups this week, and I'll just go through the time. So I'm not doing anything crazy to play like the game of the week. But the first game might be the game of the week, and that's Kentucky traveling to Oxford to face Ole Miss. Both teams are undefeated, which is we're going to see a lot, obviously, if they're all ranked teams. But Will Levis is potentially like sliding under that Heisman Trophy radar for a little bit. If he can keep racking up these big wins, if he ends up beating like Georgia and those guys, he'll springboard. But this Kentucky team is, as much as we hate to say it, is pretty good. So they're traveling to Oxford. What do you think is going to happen with Kentucky and Ole Miss?
Oh man, you hate to say it. Hate to say it, but Kentucky's gonna fucking win. Like, they're gonna win. It sucks. It's gonna happen. But man, that'd be awesome if Lane Kiffin could come in here and get a dub. He seems it doesn't matter what team he's on or coaching. It seems like they're able to show up in their big games. Like it doesn't have to be a huge game like FAU got fucking rolled by whatever I forget who they played a couple years ago, and they thought Kiffin was going to come in and maybe do some work. No, not so fast, my friend. But
Yeah.
maybe it can happen. I mean, it definitely can happen. Ole Miss isn't a scrub team this year, and Lane Kiffin's a great coach. But yeah, I got to see it firsthand for myself. That quarterback's legit. That offense seems to roll, and I don't really know how good that defense is because the only time I saw them, they were against a shitty ass offense in the Gators.
Right. No, I agree with everything you said. So I think Kentucky's going to win as well. And pretty much the exact same thing you said. So we'll go ahead and move on because I hate talking about those two teams. Two more SEC teams are next, but at least they're in the West. And that's Alabama traveling to Fayetteville to take on Arkansas. If Arkansas would have they've barely lost a close game. By the way, our freaking upset picks, they failed, but we are within the final play of the game on all of our upset picks from day one all the way through to now, where we've either gotten them right or lost them at the last second.
If I would have been 3-0, I honestly swear to God, I would have probably tried to find a bookie. So just put down a $50 bet on upsets once a week for college football for the rest of the season. Like to be 3-0, and yeah, the first week was kind of cheap. Second week maybe a little cheap, but the Wake Forest not so cheap like that, and it should have happened. They fucked themselves at the end. They didn't stay doing the same shit they did in the first half, and I mean they went down 14 real fast.
Right.
But then they got their shit together, and man, they just let it slip away. And that offense is nice. I don't know dude's name, Jack something, J something. I sold out. I put the quarterback in my daily fantasy. I did one of the receivers, not the receiver that snapped. That was twice, two of them. I forget what other team. I want to say Ohio State, but the cheaper dude that I almost went with to be able to get the Minnesota running back in my lineup, he fucking had like 45 points. I was pissed. I picked the wrong Wake Forest dude. He still got me like 12, 13 points, but the other dude got like 45 points. He was the more expensive one in that instance. So if I would have just flip-flopped, it would have.
I doubled down on mine too. Washington State should have beaten Oregon. I put a bet on them to cover the spread, which they did, and then I changed it because I said, no, Travis, have some fucking balls. You called the upset, pick the upset. So I changed the spread to the money line, and they lost by 3 right at the end. But man, we're so like close. So it's.
I know. I was thinking too before the season started. McAfee, they picked the NFL games for all the weekend slates, but they pick the spreads. They don't do money line. They go by the spreads.
Right.
And sometimes they'll be like, I'll take the under on this one too, because they go against each other. It's like we do. It's a battle trying to be the fucking better one. Duh. Ain't no fucking participation trophies, kids. But But yeah, so I was thinking maybe we could do that, bro. But we've been so fucking close. I mean, I was 2-0, and you were almost 2-0. We were both almost 3-0,
I am
and
1-2, and I think my 2 misses have been by a combined 5 points.
it's insane.
It's so
Like it's
stupid.
crazy. It's crazy that we're both so close. So yeah, we don't need the fucking spreads, dude.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So,
But to
anyways,
get back to it, Arkansas's neither one of our fucking picks this week.
yeah, because
Um,
like I said, if Arkansas was undefeated going into this game, I'd give them a better chance. But just like Florida, they're gonna say, "Oh fuck it, we're over. We're not gonna win, so why even try?" And
yeah,
Alabama, I think it's just gonna roll. The spread for what it's worth for McAfee is 17. Might be a little closer than that, but I'm not sure. I think 17 is a good number, and I
yeah,
think they're gonna run away with it.
yeah, same. And unfortunately, Bryce Young's looking really fucking good. And for whatever reason, he won Heisman last time. The same motherfuckers are just coming out their mouth, ready to
Always.
ready to give it to him again. But yeah, Alabama's going to roll, and this is going to be one of those games they look back on for his Heisman moment. Because
Ooh.
Arkansas is a nice team. Arkansas's got a great defense, and he's going to make them look like a FCS defense.
Jeez, nice. Well, moving on to a really fun game and a game that the underdog is favored, and I'm not sure why because there are some guys that will be in wherever they go to New York or whatever for some award shows at the end of this year. And that's Oklahoma State, number 9, heading into Waco to take on number 16 Baylor. And I mean, I'll let you go first, but I'm very impressed with this Oklahoma State squad.
Same, same. And I was thinking about picking Baylor until I looked at the odds and saw that they were favored, and I don't understand how.
Yeah, I guess just because
Because
they're the home team. I don't know.
that would be that's a stretch, and the other ones are stupid to try to pick, and this was just the easy smart one. But yeah, Oklahoma is like a smart one to take that it could happen, and we should maybe try to go get a job with Vegas because
Right.
we haven't talked about it, but yeah, I think Oklahoma State is going to have a major case at the end of the season to be in the playoffs,
Mm.
and so this could be their one loss if they do go undefeated. But yeah, I think they're going to be able to go in and win their conference. They're going to be able to have a strong case. One loss, I think, is going to be able to get you pretty far this season, just because the only other undefeated teams are going to be in the same conference until
Mm.
that SEC championship
That's
game when
true.
Georgia and Alabama face again.
Right.
So they'll have a strong case to be the number 4 team at the end of it. But if they're able to roll through Baylor, then yeah, they're definitely you can notch them in. Anything less than the 2 or 3 slot, they're disrespected. From what I've been able to see so far, Oklahoma State's a great team, a fun team to watch, and I don't know. There's just something about when you think of Baylor, you just think of these big fucking mutant made motherfuckers on defense.
Mm.
And just immediately I was thinking, yeah, they're gonna be able to stop all that pretty run shit and not let Oklahoma State open it up. But uh, Vegas thinks the same thing. So I'm excited for this one. This is one I'm definitely gonna tune into. It's on Fox, not CBS, which means I'll be
Right.
able to watch it legally.
It
And
sucks being
I'm
an
bro,
SEC fan sometimes.
fuck Paramount Plus, bro. Whoever the fuck thinks I'm a pay for that and have a cable provider, you out your fucking mind. I mean, I haven't. People are probably going to be like, "Oh, you could just log into your cable provider to be able to watch the CBS channel
Yeah,
on
the
Paramount
CBS one
Plus."
you can, but
Like, but no, there's no. On my Xbox, you can't get CBS
oh
Sports.
yeah,
There's
no,
no
there's
app
no
for it,
Xbox app for it. You got to
so you
watch it
have to
on your
get
shitty
Paramount
laptop.
Plus. You have to get Paramount Plus. Yeah, even trying to go on the CBSSports.com to watch the football game, I couldn't do it. Well, I couldn't log in. Couldn't do it. CBS couldn't do it. Have to get the fucking Paramount Plus app to watch the fucking NFL CBS football game. Suck my yeah. That's annoying as fuck. So thank you, Fox, for being normal. A normal fuck, bro. These dudes are getting. You used to be on my rabbit ears, bro. Like, calm down.
For real, CBS is a local ass channel. Like, just
You
play,
want me to
bro.
pay for it? I used to be able to plug you into a piece of wire
Yeah.
connected to my house. Calm down. But yeah, this game's gonna be on Fox. I'll be tuning in. I'll just be I'm actually gonna have Junior, so I won't just be waking up, unfortunately. But that's definitely the game to watch because the other game at 3:30 on ABC that we're about to talk about, hopefully these motherfuckers get put in their fucking place because I'm sick of them.
They
I am
will,
so
but
sick of them.
so who was your pick for the Baylor Oklahoma State game?
Oklahoma State. If I
Nice.
had to put money on it, I would put Oklahoma State. More so the fact that I can't choose Baylor as my upset, and I'm not going to say it now and then them win and be pissed off.
I was actually scared because Vegas always knows something, right? This line is there for a reason. But I'm also going Oklahoma State. I think they're a better team, but Vegas always knows. But usually the home team is favored by 3 in an even game. So for them to be only 2.5, maybe that means that even Vegas. What
if there's just a shit ton on like the numbers makers, the odds makers, all of their names are Joe, because Joe knows.
Joe knows. I don't think that's true, but yeah. So I'm picking Oklahoma State as well. I think the smart money is going to bring that down. That line's going to be even by Saturday, and I think Oklahoma State's going to take it. So if you do like Baylor, just wait till Saturday to take the money because I think the people are going to start betting the other way. So let's move on to what Seal just talked about, and that's Wake Forest, your team that not really your team, but that now has a loss thanks to Clemson in double overtime or whatever it was, and they are going to take on undefeated, still ranked below them, Florida State at Bobby Bowden Field and Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida.
I love you, Bobby.
Florida State Seminoles. What are you? Well, no, I get to go first on this one. I think I have to piggyback Seal here because one, we'll never bet on Florida State in our lifetime. Well, I won't. He did as a kid. But two, Wake Forest did actually look good, just like we talked about at the top. So Florida State's going to be humbled. Listen, we've seen what they can do. We know Florida State. We know they recruit well. We know that Tallahassee's got some talent that's been running off to Alabama a lot lately, and they're finally going to start bringing some of these kids in. But Wake Forest just looked like the better team, and FSU has beaten some shitty teams so far, in my opinion.
Ways.
So yeah, in some ugly ways. So I think they'll get rolled over. And weirdly, FSU is favored by almost a touchdown, and that's just dumb. Wake Forest, from what they did last week, that should have at least given them a few more points. So there's no way Vegas gets this one right. So take Wake Forest. If you want to take it on the 6.5, go for it. That's an easy one. But I say take it straight up.
Same. This Florida State team hasn't seen an offense like Wake Forest, and we saw what Wake Forest was able to do when they got it going. We can't forget they were down 14-0 against the number 5 team in the country, and still was a running drive away from fucking running the clock out and securing the fucking win. And they just kept, they kept to their MO and they kept doing what they did and just ended up getting stopped a little too early. And Clemson was able to come in and push it and get a touchdown. And then Wake Forest had to come down and put it into overtime. I believe that's how it happened. And Clemson had to come down to put it in overtime.
Yeah, Clemson had to force overtime with a 2-point conversion, I think.
Yeah, and then Wake Forest came out and scored right. Like Wake Forest can fucking score on you easily. And if you think Clemson's defense is not 50 times better than Florida State's, then you're smoking some of that Florida meth over there in Tallahassee, and you might want to calm it down. But I'll talk to you about that later. That part of my take shit about the Jaguar fans. I don't think that I don't think the Arizona meth supply can withstand a Jacksonville Jaguars Super Bowl.
That's probably true. Yeah.
It's just a dig on Florida, like North Florida, fucking meth heads. But anyways, back to the freaking Tallahassee people. Yeah, you're stupid if you really think you have a fighting chance. One of my buddies, he's a bartender and bar back with Baby Girl. He's a huge Florida State fan, and he's obnoxious as fuck. I mean, I can see not having any good season since you, for some whatever reason, won a national championship. I can see why Jameis and Jalen and all them boys, they have a squad. Whatever. Fuck them. But it's been a very long time. Literally right after that, I think they won like 5-6 games. Missed
Yeah.
bowls like 3 seasons in a row. It's just been really shitty for them. So I can see them being kind of excited. But if you like, even Vegas, for them to really genuinely believe this number spread, it's insane. Like I really think Wake Forest is going to roll. Like if there's any way you can go and like make, because I know on my Hard Rock Funny Money app, you can go and kind of find different odds. Like there's the spread,
Mhm.
and then there's optional spreads for different.
The teasers.
Like no, that so let's say the spread, like the spread's -6.5.
Right.
I can go for Wake Forest that's +6.5, and go
Right.
down and make them +2.5 and get
Right.
even better odds.
That's basically a teaser, though. But yeah, just a shifted line, I guess, if you're just keeping
So
it
if
on
you can
one
even,
team.
yeah, if you can do that to even make those odds get better, like if you can get even near the money line and still get some points, that, like, I mean, I don't think anything's better than money line, but if you're parlaying and all that shit, it's definitely worth it. But that's a lot.
I will be
That's
putting some
absolutely a lot.
money, not real money. Well, I mean, it is real money, but it's not like millions of dollars like you see all the time. But I'll be
That
putting some
might be
money
a
on Wake
game to
Forest.
go in and just put my whole dollar on, just right off rip.
I think they give you $1 again if you lose, so you might as well bet $1 until you hit it, and then I don't know. They used to, but they used to only give you like 10 cents free. But they used to give you 10 cents if you ran out of money. So maybe if you just make your first bet $1 every time, if you keep losing it, getting your dollar back, eventually it'll hit, and then you start with a nice little bankroll. But I don't know
I'm
that that's
down.
true. So if it works, then, or it doesn't work, then don't get mad at me. Um, so now let's move on to the final game, and let's see if Seal's going to bet against Clemson 2 times in a row. But NC State is heading into here, and they're a little better than Wake Forest statistically, but they have been beating up on some shitty teams. UConn is one of the worst teams in the history of college football, I think. And then I think they beat like a Georgia Southern, but not the good one. Whichever one's the bad one over there in Georgia. And so it's hard to tell, but they're undefeated and they're heading into Clemson to face the Cats, the Tigers. So what do you think is going to happen here?
I think NC State has a chance. They're going to be able to look at that tape from the Clemson game last week and start salivating at the mouth. I love that I'm just using all these mouth things, but
Yeah.
and they're really going to think they're going to have a field day, but they're going to spend too much time looking at all those big ass plays that Wake Forest was able to make and not realize that they're probably not going to be able to do the same thing. Their offensive line probably isn't as good as Wake Forest. I feel like they're going to see shit that they think they're going to be able to do and not going to be able to get done. And they're going to try to go back to the game plans that they were able to torch all these no-name teams and just get completely fucked.
Mm.
So we're going to find out real fast if this team is worth a shit. Excuse me for burping. But I honestly, I don't think it's going to happen. Clemson isn't the Clemson we know them to be,
Right.
but Dabo's a hell of a fucking coach, and he finds ways to win. And I don't think he's going to let NC State, like, that would be embarrassing to them. Clemson is in the Carolinas. They're in South Carolina. So
Right.
to have a North Carolina school come in and beat them, that would be very embarrassing for that school. That booster program wouldn't be too happy with that. So you got to think this is a game that's on their calendar. They mark it. It's a cross state rival. So it's on the outside looking in. You're like, oh, it's the ACC matchup. It's more than that for these people.
Right.
So I think Clemson's going to be able to take care of them. It's going to be close. It's not going to be double overtime close, but Clemson's just going to be too much. They still have a shit ton of fucking weapons, which I found out last week. Uga Boogale, still I don't think is that guy, but he's able to just hand the ball off and throw the ball 3 fucking feet down the field and let
Yeah,
them go to work.
exactly.
So
Well, I picked against NC State the very first week of the season. I said
you
ECU
did.
was going to beat them. They won by 2. They proved me wrong. Then they went off, and I mean, literally, they're winning by like 30 points. So at least they're beating the shitty teams. And I don't think they stop now. I think they got a little bit of a groove. I think they're going to find a way. I think they're going to jump out to a huge lead, and Clemson's going to battle back the way that they do. But I think this time it's going to come up to just a little bit short, where Wake Forest wasn't able to quite stop them. I think NC State has a little bit better defense, and they're going to be able to stop them on the comeback attempt. And DJ Ugabugalungbe is not going to he's going to end his Heisman run a little bit early there in week 5. So that's what I think is going to happen. So it's upset pick time. Seal is still ahead because my team missed and his team missed. So he's 2-1. I'm 1-2. So Seal gets to pick first. He gets the pick of the litter. So Seal, what's your upset?
Solely because this motherfucker fucked me. That's some money. Why I picked him as the quarterback, the second quarterback, I put him in the flex. That's the move. College football, pick 2 quarterbacks. Hopefully they make it. Should have picked the Kansas one I was going to pick. Could have got a better running back if I would have. But didn't do it because I thought this guy was going to be able to do something. I thought they were going to have a hell of a team this year. What he was able to do was probably going to get him to a Heisman talk, which was going to piss a lot of our friends off, a lot of Orlando fans off. But Oklahoma fucked me. Dylan Gabriel fucking went stale as shit last week, and I don't think they're going to be able to figure it out. I think they're sitting there looking over in fucking L.A. and getting a little salty at what Caleb Williams was able to do.
Yeah.
And they've just kind of got something's wrong on the inside. So, like, they should – I don't know what the fuck happened, but it really hurt me. And I think TCU, their defense is really good. They haven't played anybody. They played SMU, shut them out. That's a fairly good team if you're just looking at a lot of 4-star talent. They're a good team, 3-star, 4-star talent. They can get it done. But TCU showed them that they're in Texas, and it's always bigger in Texas, and then boys rolled the fuck out of them. And I think that they're going to have a great chance of doing it. And it's in Texas, I want to say. Didn't look at it too much.
It's in Texas.
Yeah, so it's in Texas. They're going to be able to get it done against Oklahoma. I don't know the odds. I don't know the spread.
OU is 6.5-point favorites.
Fuck it, I want money line.
Ooh, let's go.
Lose. But yeah, right. That's mine.
Well, mine is I'm betting against a team that did not fuck us. Actually, this was when our season was still looking really good. I'm going to take Oregon State to beat Utah to head into Salt Lake City and in Utah. Oregon State, they're 3-1. They're already 0-1 in the Pac-12, but they lost by 3 to the aforementioned Caleb Williams and the USC Trojans. Other than that, they have dominated a bunch of shitty teams, but like 55-3 type domination. So nothing that you can really get game film from, but a 17-14 loss to USC. And after seeing how vulnerable Utah can actually be when you can game plan against them, I think Oregon State's a little better than people think. And I think they're going to pull the upset. And this is probably my toughest upset that I've picked this year because they are 10.5-point underdogs. If I were a real betting man, which I am, I would bet the spread. But we don't bet the spread here. We bet the money line. So I will only win if Oregon State wins the whole thing. But on my phone, on my app, I'm going to take the spread. There's not a huge amount of confidence with a 10.5-point dog, but I think they're going to do it. My pick was TCU, but that's why the champ gets to go first. So I think TCU is going to take care of it too. But no, Oregon State can definitely do it. So I'm excited to see that they'll cover the 10.5. I'm not too worried about that.
For sure.
But we'll see. I think it'll come down to the wire at least. So we definitely have a really good shout out. Unless do you have other stuff? I know you have the shout out. I was just teeing you up for it. But do you have any other sports talk to talk about?
No.
All right.
I'm excited for basketball. We have plenty of time to talk about that. But training camp started this week. We both have a lot to look forward to. Unfortunately for me, I might have to look forward to Jay Crowder. If you've listened to this podcast at all in the last 3 years of me being on it every week, then you know that I don't appreciate this guy's basketball IQ. I hate him. I hate his shot fucking selection. If he would just have like nubs for hands and was a defender, I'd be happy with it. Can't even fucking dribble. Just poke the ball to somebody else. I'd be so fine with that. But yeah, we're on the hunt for him. It looks like, but we're brand new as a squad. You guys added a couple of things, and you're another year wiser with your young core, and
Yeah.
Bridges and Johnson and Aiton. So and also this motherfucker got paid, so hopefully he gets appreciative and plays. But word came
Did you
out
see him
that
at media day? He's a piece of trash, bro. But
yeah,
whatever.
he like he looks like he's trapped. Like
Good.
it
Then go
seems as
fucking
if
be a all NBA so we can trade you to anybody. He
so
saw
that's
who
what
offered him, right? Nobody, right? So it
yeah.
took like 3 weeks to get offered. So how about you play better? And then other teams will want you.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that he comes in and really like does what he can to get the fuck out of town because he's not KD and he's not Ben Simmons. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Ben Simmons has a way better skill set when he gives a fuck about playing
Right.
basketball than Aiton will ever. Like
Yeah.
playoff Aiton was an amazing center, but Ben Simmons can do that and pass the ball. And it's the kid
Yeah.
can't shoot though. But he has same shot fucking radius as fucking Aiton. He can do way
Yeah.
more. But yeah, so he's gonna have to do a lot, and that's what I'm thinking. Whenever we were doing our NBA draft, I almost scooped him and reached for him a little early, but that's gonna make or break, right? You guys didn't
Yeah.
go out and get too much to help.
Right.
You let JaVale go, so that's gonna be a make or break it for that team. But
Well,
I'm
it's
excited
funny
for it, man.
to talk about Aiton. He tried to throw Monty under the bus. Monty has been around the league way too long for you to do that. He's not a new head coach.
Yeah,
He's not even a new head coach for Phoenix, so I don't really understand. But the headlines came out, Aiton talking about how he hasn't talked to Monty Williams since the loss in Game 7. He hasn't talked. He's just been doing his thing, and he'll show up to training camp when it's training camp time, whatever. Monty Williams does this every year. And so he says he takes the offseason off. He wants the players to do it on their own, to take their own time. If they reach out and talk to him, he'll talk to them. But he says that the players need a break from him in the offseason because he understands how he coaches and he wants to give those guys a break. So for Aiton to spin it the way that he spun it, it's kind of ridiculous. I love Monty, and I'm not about to say like it's just take the high road. They'll show up on day one and just play ball. And I hope he does that because Monty's going to do that. Monty's going to show up and coach. So if you're
yeah,
there, you're there. If not, you're on the bench and we don't care. So
yeah. No, I agree. But that's going to make your whole team. I mean, we know what we're going to get out of Chris Paul. We know what we're getting out of Book. We know what we're getting out of Bridges. We
yeah.
know what we know what everybody's going to be able to do.
Yeah, and our backup
Fuck.
center is Bismack Biyombo. So we need Aiton to
Yeah.
actually do something.
Yeah, is Cam now that Crowder wants out? He's not going to be able. I thought it was an owner thing, but I guess he wants out
He
of
wants
Phoenix for
out.
some
Yeah, yeah,
reason.
yeah.
Yeah, so we know Cam's going to be up there. Who's going to fill that role now?
We signed or we traded for somebody. Hold on, let me find it real quick. But yeah, so Cam's starting. That's why I was able to get him in like the 15th round or 13th, whatever the last round is. I was super excited because he's going to be a fucking starter. But the
Yeah,
projections show Jay Crowder still like being the starter and doing the thing. So I was actually pretty excited to be able to get Cam so late. Who did we get? We got Dario
yeah. When I
Saric is
saw that, I was
back.
like, "Fuck." Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
So he'll be able to take the bench role of that. And of course, we have Torrey
That's a good
Craig and
pickup.
those guys that'll pick up a couple minutes here and there.
Yeah,
Um,
because ours is going to be that 3 spot. Laurie Markkinen's gone.
mm,
Um, fucking Isaac Okoro, he's in I want to say year 2, year 3 now, and he's got to show up. And now he's starting. Seti and Karis LeVert are really going to have to come in. That's why I'm glad we got Donovan Mitchell. Karis LeVert doesn't have to come in and play that off guard position. He can just focus on being that 3 slot, and he's going to be coming in off the bench. And him and Seti and Isaac Okoro, that's going to be our we know Darius Garland's a beast. We know when Donovan Mitchell's healthy, he's one of the best shooting guards in the league, if not the best, other than James Harden. Like he's a fucking monster. We know what Jared Allen is. He's the fucking Afro Ninja. Evan Mobley is going to end up being a Hall of Famer because everybody gets in. It's like we know what we have other than that 3 spot. So that's going to be our biggest what if. But I I think we both are going to have a really exciting season, and we don't have that premier all star guy. We do have all
Right.
stars on our squad now, but we don't have that NBA talent guy. We don't have that Chris Paul. We don't have that Devin Booker. We do have Kevin Love, but he's going to play 13 minutes a game.
Right.
So I'm really excited for basketball, man. I did want to get that in there.
Yeah,
Training
for
camp
sure.
started, so gave me a reason to, and fucking Mixon got another touchdown. Why did I not make him my 1.5? Oh no, he's just gonna run it in on third down.
Yeah,
Cool.
he'll just get it
I
right
put
now.
Joey Burr as my 1.5. And even the projection said that he was gonna like Mixon was projected 16 and he was projected 19. And I was like, oh, okay, because the running back's projected 16, the quarterback's he's I'm fucking stupid.
Well, T. Higgins is doing work like he should, but that's all right. I'm still not worried about this man's team.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to see anything. I probably lost all my drafts. I wasn't able to go into a fourth quarter flash draft, so I did save $1. Thank you for
Right.
that. But yeah, man, I'm really excited for basketball. Football's been great. College football sucks ass. We got a long road ahead of us, so we are going to do our job as sports podcasters and keep doing our upset picks and talk about it a little bit. But yeah, man, until the Jaguars go on a 5-game losing streak to these ass teams that we're about to play, the Texans, the Colts, the Raiders, like just these ass teams, statistically, standing wise. I'm excited, dude, for football. I'm excited for basketball for the Cavs, and I'm excited for next year of Australian fucking football too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so
So
that's what I was saving for the shout out is Australian football. We might have a new favorite team. I don't know if you saw my comment on your Facebook thing that you sent me, but
yeah,
we talked about it a couple weeks ago. We needed to find a new favorite team. Did we find it?
I think so, man. I really do. Yeah, we alluded to the fact that we may want to pick new teams. Your team's cool. It's the Suns.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's literally
my
why I picked them is because they're the Suns and I like the Suns.
I randomly turned on a game and saw a team with some pretty fucking cool black jerseys with a white little stripe going down like a security guard, and I was like, Essendon, let's rock. And unfortunately, both teams are ass, which we're fine with as
Yeah,
NFL
we're used
fans.
to that.
We've been used to this in American Football League. We're absolutely used to this, and but it's more fun to be able to tune in and watch a team win that we've seen in Australian football. Even the fans. As a Jaguars fan, I feel bad for these guys. These stadiums are huge. They're beautiful. So fortunately, we all know, like we all look at, not everybody, me and you look at tickets to these football matches and all this stuff, these soccer matches as we call them. The
Yeah.
tickets are cheap as fuck because
Yep.
115,000 people can fit into these places. And it's the same thing with Australian football. But these fans spend their 10, 15 fucking dollars to go watch a team lose every single. Like, I've never watched the Essendon match to where we haven't lost by 20 points at
Right.
least. Like, it's grueling. We came close one time, and in the last 5 minutes, they got fucking 6 or 7 marks or whatever the fuck they're called,
Yeah.
and it was insane. Those are 6 points, by the way, and we got fucking smacked in the asshole, and it was embarrassing. So yeah, I really do think so. It is kind of bandwagon-ish, but at the
It is
same
because they
time,
straight rolled, bro. They won by like
but
100
see,
points.
at the same time, I didn't see that. All I know is that they are the AFL champions right now. They just
Right.
became the champions of the Australian Football League. I do know that. That is kind of bandwagon. But one, I don't know if that's a Cincinnati Bengals team who has never done shit
That's
and
true.
just miraculously won. Went on a run and got it all done. I don't know that that didn't happen. I don't know that that's not a Golden State Warriors picked up
Yeah, I
Kevin
don't know
Durant.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is when they won, their captain led his team over to their water boy, who has Down syndrome. So of course he's not going to be on the sidelines and all the time and stuff like this. Probably a promoted water boy and comes around the
Right.
team and to kind of make his spirits high and all that stuff. And they went right to him, took him out of the stands, brought him. I'm getting chills just talking about it. Brought him onto the field to celebrate with them. And when you look at this kid's face, it made his whole world. He's
He
already
was so
excited.
excited.
His
Yeah.
team that he works for, that he does the water boy stuff for, just won it. You knew all that kid wanted to do was get on that field with them, and all they wanted to do was get him on that field with them too. That was amazing. Like, we love people. We love people that love people, and that's the best shout out that we can ever give. And I will ride for that team, the Geelong, and bro, the fucking name, the Geelong Football
It's
Club.
Geelong. Remember we looked it up.
Oh yeah,
Geelong.
Geelong Football Club. It's the football club, bro. It's not the Geelong Cats. It's not the Essendon. What their
Well, they are
whatever
the
it is.
Geelong Cats, but
Oh, I said football club and then cats in parentheses. So maybe
yeah,
online it says football club for all of them.
I
Damn it.
don't know. But
I hope so because that was really fucking cool to see. Like, hey, the football club. I like it. I don't know why I like that. Washington Football Club. That's what they should have been. But
right.
but yeah, man. I'm down. If you're down, I'm down. Go Cats.
And so I am looking, by the way, just to make sure we're not completely bandwagoning. Geelong was really good. They won 3 times in 6 years, but they have not won since 2011. So it's been a while where I don't think you're bandwagoning, right? If it was 2011 when they
No,
last won, like that's a whole
no.
new squad. That's not a good team anymore. Oh, and by the way, I just scrolled through. The Gold Coast Suns have won 0. So they would be just like my Phoenix Suns sitting here rooting for nothing. So that's pretty sad. But yeah, Geelong, however you say their name. They were
Essendon,
good.
they got anything?
Essendon has a lot, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, that
Oh
feels like
man.
so Carlton looks like it's the bandwagon. If you picked Carlton, you're a bandwagoner. But Essendon hasn't won since I know this is the worst shout out ever because we kind of stopped shouting them out. But Essendon hasn't won since 2000. But it looks like they have probably like 8 or 9. And the league started in I wish there was just a list of how many they have. But the league started in 1897. Essendon beat Geelong for the very first championship
Oh
of
shit.
all
So
time.
hey, OG. Geelong is an OG. I like
Yeah,
that.
they're a 1897 OG, baby. Um,
I like that. But yeah,
so
no,
yeah.
and again, like we hyped them up when we first came around the league. It's fun as fuck to watch. And it's crazy. I found this out. So in Australia, like you know how like when we wake up Saturday, Sunday mornings getting ready to watch football and stuff, you go outside with your brother. I used to go outside with my buddy Nathan, and you just throw the football around.
Yeah.
Get ready for football. Let's play some catch. These motherfuckers have a kick. Let's go have a kick. And that's why Australian punters are getting so popular because they've been doing it their whole life.
That makes
They literally
sense.
go outside and take an Australian football and have a kick with each other. Instead of throwing it, they kick it. That's all they do is fucking kick it. Which is that ball's huge. That seems fun as fuck to sit around and fucking catch and then fucking. Why didn't
Well,
we do that when we were kids? That
we
seems
have
so much
one
funner
more
than just
thing.
throwing it.
Hold on, Seal. We have one more thing to check before we can officially become fans. We have to make sure the stadium is somewhere that when we take our Australia trip, we would actually go to.
Ah, this is right. This is
Because if it's
fuck. Because
not,
Essendon was perfect.
it's just outside of Melbourne. So like we don't have to be in the city. So like let's say if Melbourne was Orlando, it looks like Geelong is like
Oviedo.
Altamont Springs, like between
Oh,
Altamont Springs and
better.
Oviedo. So you still have to drive, but it's the next city over. So Winter Park, maybe probably closer to like Winter Park from UCF. So
That's
not that
straight.
bad.
That's even better.
Yeah.
So
All
that's kind of
right.
like Amway to the bounce house.
You know what? Let me do directions from downtown Melbourne just to make sure that we got this right. Because we'll just fly into Melbourne.
Joe's like, bro, I thought this podcast was over 20 minutes ago. What the fuck?
It's an hour, literally an hour
Oh,
and 10 minutes
you
from
know,
Melbourne. So that's money.
that's
We're good.
yeah, that's straight as fuck. But yeah, while we're doing shout out to Joe because we did
Shout out to Joe.
kind of make fun of the fact that he might
He's our
not be
only
listening,
listener.
and that listens the whole way, and probably even then not. He damn sure does. He wanted to let us know that. So shout out to you, Joe. You're the fucking man. Can't wait for you two guys to meet at the wedding. But but yeah. So hey, go Geelong Cats, right?
Yeah, that's it. Dude, if fucking the Suns win next year, I'm so
Right?
out. I'm flipping everything.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah,
But yeah,
goes you
man.
on.
Yeah, the fact that that was like their main thing, and
Yeah.
it was so genuine too. It's not like people led them over. It's not like they were trying to wave them down. No, the team went right over to the dude, pulled him out, and they started celebrating and made this. I don't know why I keep calling him a kid. He could be fucking 35 years old
Yeah,
for all I
he
know.
might be.
But this man, it made his whole world, and I love to see shit like that. And you got to think for yourself, if you're winning it all, you're pretty fucking selfish at that point in time, right? You took
Right.
your whole life to get at this moment. And I doubt any of those guys on that team were on the 2011 squad the last time they won.
Right.
So these guys have been their whole life trying to get to this point all through school. Like it's the same thing there as it is here for high school football, college, all through everything to finally get this championship held. And you don't go to your wife, you don't go to your kid, you go find the water boy, who you know it means the world to be the water boy at this club. That's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely fantastic, and that's what we should do every single day. Just go out and try to make one person happy. Just if you can do make one person happy, that's millions of people getting happy every day, just randomly for no reason at all. Just try to make somebody smile. I always try to let people know when I go through a drive-through, I know they're getting shitty pay. I'm always worried about making $150 a shift at least, and these guys are pulling like $260, $300 a week, and I'm aware of that. So I always make sure I let them know I appreciate them. I always am thankful until I figure out my food's wrong, and I go inside and let them know, hey, you fucked it up. I'd appreciate you more if you could get it right. That'd be great. But just always try to be kind and be aware of people's feelings. And as always, be a stud, not a scrub.